The fan dance, the world's first and oldest special forces selection test. A grueling 24 kilometers race over Penny Fan, the highest peak in the Brecon Beacons, while carrying a 20 kg bag. It is often regarded to as the hardest part of SAS selection, a selection process with a 90% fail rate. And with temperatures plummeting to -15 and waist-deep snow, it's a test that has taken many lives. The aim? Pushing yourself beyond your limits, proving that with enough grit and determination, anything is possible. Welcome to my attempt at the 2025 Winter Fan Dance. There was actually a yellow weather warning today in the UK. I mean, the weather around the world is going absolutely crazy. My heart goes out for the people in LA. And it's actually set to reach -8 today in the Brecon Beacons and possibly even lower tomorrow. That also doesn't include the fact that for every 100 meters above sea level, you lose 1 degree Celsius. And, well, Penny Fan stands at almost 3,000 feet and 900 meters. And if I'm being brutally honest, I am absolutely petrified for it. Anyways, besides me panicking about the weather tomorrow, let me show you what I'm actually bringing because it's kind of insane. Now, looking out across the table, I think it's safe to say that I don't think I've ever been so prepared for something in my entire life. But I think that's kind of fair enough because, well, everything on the table is required for what would be a survival situation because, well, that's kind of what I'm entering. Now, to begin with, a lot of the equipment is very similar to what you take camping. So we have a sleeping bag and a sleeping mat, a head torch, several hand warmers, some fire starters because, you know, just in case I have to start a fire, and alternatively, a camping stove. We then also have some mess tins or just, I don't know, cooking apparatus, some disposable wipes and windproof matches, a first aid kit, which I probably should be carrying anyways because I'm technically a first aider, a thermos, which will actually be containing half of the water that I'm meant to be taking, and that, to be honest, is more just to make sure that the water doesn't freeze on the side of the mountain, which apparently does happen very often, a compass and map, although I still need to print out the map, and that's just because we're meant to be navigating our way through it, a life bivvy, and this is kind of in case something goes really wrong tomorrow. By the way, if any of you guys do any sort of outdoor camping or anything, I would highly recommend getting one of these or a life blanket because these could genuinely save your life. I then also bought a 24-hour military rations pack, technically an essential, but this was more just to make up the weight because this thing is very heavy. Now, there are actually a couple other things that you are meant to include on that list, and that includes a tent, flares, sterilization tablets, air laces, a lighter, and a map. And finally, just in case it is actually a snowstorm tomorrow, a luminous marker. As you can see, exactly 15 kg. Anyways, now obviously all of that is important, but in reality I'm kind of hoping that I won't actually be needing to use any of that. That's just kind of like the requirements that the race permits. But in terms of what I'm actually running in, that is important, and there are also some requirements for that as well. So let me show you that too quickly. Now, to begin with, because this is a military grade race, you have to run in military grade boots. You're not allowed to wear, like, I don't know, trainers or anything like that. So I will be running in these tomorrow. There was actually a list of boots that they approved, and this was one of two. I decided to get the highs because I felt like this would offer me better ankle support because I'm kind of expecting the ground to be quite loose tomorrow. I then got some leather gloves, and these are again just to keep my hands warm because I'm expecting it to be pretty cold. We then have some skins, so I have some leg skins and a top skin. And then in terms of keeping my head warm, because, well, if you haven't noticed, my head is a little bit exposed at the moment, we have a running hat, and then I also bought a waterproof balaclava. Then, to make sure that I don't run out of water and this is dripping everywhere, we also have a camel pack, and this is just going to go on the top of my bag so that I can continue to drink water while I'm running so I don't have to stop. And then, although they said to bring proper food, I'm just bringing these to eat because I don't want to be carrying lots and lots of heavy food because I'm already going to be carrying about 19 kg at this point. Anyways, I'm going to pack up my bag and then we need to leave because pretty much there's 2 check-in times for this event, and one at 8 PM tonight and one at 4 AM tomorrow, and I know which one I would definitely rather do.
I just got to the train station, about 50% sure discounts for every single train out of London. The other thing that I'm slightly more concerned about, to be honest, other than getting there, is the fact that I'm literally just carrying my bag and my back is already hurting. I've only walked about 5 minutes. Right, well, I've been waiting half an hour and we have now been given a train, but it's not for another half an hour. I think I'm going to be checking in at 4 o'clock in the morning. wheels. God, that took far too long. There he is. The main man. David Goggins himself, hiding behind the telephone box. You got the military bag, right?
16 kg.
Wow. 16? Yeah. Has it got to be 16?
It's yours.
50?
Under, mate. Under. That won't get through.
Will it not? Was it actually got to be 16? I might be hanging off shit off the back, bro. I haven't got any more space. Double bed in the hostel's crazy. Right, well, we're all settled into the hostel. We've done the carb load. I ate a lot of pasta. The boys have weighed and then reweighed and then reweighed and then reweighed their bag about 5 or 6 times just to confirm that they are definitely the right weight. Now, in terms of actually what time we're going to have to get up, obviously, well, unfortunately, we didn't make registration team, so we are going to have to get up for registration tomorrow, which turns out to actually be at 6, so it's not the 4 o'clock in the morning that I thought it was. However, the time is now 12 p.m, so I'm a little bit concerned as to how much sleep we're actually going to be getting. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to try and get some sleep now, and I shall see you tomorrow for probably the hardest day of my entire life. Reliability, mate, with shoes like that. That is not passing the DS's brief. They're so low, they don't even cover the ankle. The ankle support difference is kind of crazy.
Oh my god, yeah, that's so bad.
I think you should just go run around in the mud for about 5 minutes so they don't look like you've literally bought them 3 minutes ago. Boys have got his safety cards, so Matt's had to drive back to go and pick it up because otherwise he won't be able to register. We're just going to head to registration now. Hopefully the bag passes the weight limit. I mean, it certainly feels like it's going to pass the weight limit. First things first, time to weigh the bag. Alright, I need to weigh the bag.
Yeah.
As the sun rises, I think it's safe to say that it's definitely going to be a very beautiful morning. I mean, like, just look at these landscapes. Anyways, the boys are all ready. We've got all our gear ready. We've had our bags signed off. We've got our numbers. Let's head to the start.
Do fall over, try and fall backwards. If you go forwards on your head, it's going to be a nasty day. It is really dangerous.
Right, well, apparently the route that we're following is the same route that the recruits did yesterday, so we're going to be able to see the people, like the actual SAS hopefuls, like their tracks in the snow, and that's what we're following. It's all very real right now. Right, the gun's just gone. Here we go. Oh, now, for those of you wondering why we're walking and not running right now, pretty much the way that you complete this is through something called tabbing. Obviously the descent up the mountain is brutal, and to run it all the way would be near impossible, especially with the weight on the back. So in tabbing, what you do is you walk a bit and then you run a bit. And at the moment, well, we're waiting for it to get through a gate, but we're walking. Oh, it's a running section because we're going downhill. I'm not sure how many days a year it's actually clear at the top, but today it is going to be clear, and this view is going to be, it's going to be immense. Another note is that I am feeling so much better than I thought. Like, I was really expecting to really struggle coming up that first bit, and you know what? We're feeling good, we're feeling good. Oh, boys. I'm actually speechless. Like, where? Alright, well, we've made it to summit number 1. No, I think this is the summit. There is the second summit, but that is the summit, I believe. I feel way better than I expected. I've like just put one foot in front of the other, concentrated on getting up, and thought of nothing else. And honestly, like, I think I've overtaken about 100 people. Anyway, it's time for the descent. Right, well, we've reached the flat bit, and this is where we really pick up the speed. Oh, you can get in the speed because it doesn't matter how quick you do the ascent. If you're slow on this bit, you're slow. When I say it is sheet ice in some areas, like the tactic that I've kind of come to is trying to hop from rock to rock, because that's the only bit that's not basically a death trap. We're making good time though, so just gotta keep it going. Having that goal where it's literally just one foot in front of the other and nothing else, like, it just brings me such peace in the mind. Like, for once in my life, like, I'm not thinking about a million different things. It's like a bloody ice river, this. Two. 274. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Alright, officially halfway. Now, I was doing the maths on the way down to try and work out where we were placing, which is probably not the best decision I've ever made, because as soon as I start getting competitive, I start taking it too far. But I worked out that I'm actually 57th at the moment, so my aim now is to try and be top 50. But yeah, the first half was simply a game of just getting through it. The second half is a game of determination, because the energy levels are going to be running low, and we've still got to do Jacob's Ladder, which is one of the most ferocious ascents in the UK. All of that downhill bit that we did on the way down here, well, we've now got to do that uphill. And from all the challenges that I've done, this is my favourite bit, because this is the bit where it's like, this is who I am, this is what I came here to do, this is what I can do. I am starting to really feel it. Like, whenever I run for too long, my legs really burn. It's okay though, because the peak is there, and then it's like 1k to the base, so I actually don't think I've got that much further to go. Okay, so we're just going on Jacob's Ladder now, which is probably the hardest part of the entire course, and my bag is broke. Like, one of the straps is just completely snapped, which is definitely not ideal, so I'm having to hold it down like this. It's one of those things, I guess, there's nothing really I can do. I just gotta hope that the other one doesn't snap, otherwise I'm gonna be dragging the bag across the finish line. It just sucks, man. The whole thing sucks. Oh. just be one of the hardest things I've ever done. Summit number 2, complete. Technically from here on out, it's downhill. And that is something that we love to hear. This is runner's high, by the way. This is what you're watching. It's the best feeling in the world. Honestly, nothing beats it. Let's go get some food.
Right, well, one way or another, we've made it home. I honestly think the hardest part about the challenge was actually carrying the bag home. Regardless, before I blabber on in some sort of reflection, I'm sure you're all wondering how I did, what time I did, etc, etc. Now, unfortunately, and it kind of hurts to admit this, I didn't make the cutoff time of 4 hours 10. But, you know, it is what it is, and the only real answer to not making the cutoff time is to go back and make sure that I do. So we will be back again at some point to make sure that I do make the cutoff time, because I feel like I let myself down a little bit there. In terms of areas that I didn't let myself down in, though, is where I finished, and I finished 22nd in the entire race out of 350 competitors. Now, in terms of the actual race, what an experience. I have never done something that hard in my entire life. Now, for those of you wondering if what I said at the start of the video about how dangerous and, you know, how deadly almost this challenge can actually be, well, one lady broke both of her arms while doing the test. Another person actually, well, knocked himself unconscious on the ice. There were several broken wrists. So yeah, make of that as you will. Anyways, now my 2 take-home messages really are, number 1, just show up. Over 100 contestants in my race alone didn't even bother to show up for the actual race day. And it's true of life itself. In my case, just showing up meant that you were in the top 75% of people, but that's not even considering the other 99% of people that didn't even apply. You know, and fine, in my case yesterday, it was simply just doing a race, which, you know, in reality, anyone can do. But for you, it might be starting a business, it might be learning a new language, it might simply just be turning up for your A-levels or whatever it is that you're studying at the moment. Just doing the thing or just being there and going through the process puts you ahead of 99% of other people. And secondly, this was actually a comment that a fellow runner said to me on Jacob's Ladder, which in the military is known as the ankle breaker for how dangerous it can be, which was that, well, nothing is permanent. In that moment where I was on Jacob's Ladder, the struggle was unbearable, and all I wanted to do was sit down and cry and just roll up into a ball. But as I mentioned, that feeling of pain was only present in the moment, and here I am, sat back in my chair 2 days later, feeling warm, dry, refreshed, literally just back to normal, back to my normal self. But yeah, just remember there is always a finish line. Just remember that when you are sat in this chair of comfort like I am now, that you want to be proud of the decision that you took when you were in that moment of anguish or pain. Don't be sat here with regret. But yeah, anyways, on that really rather morbid note, first of all, massive thank you to everyone that put the race on. You guys absolutely smashed it. Secondly, if you are in the army, hats off to you. You guys really are the best of the best. And yeah, I think yesterday gave me a newfound respect on a whole different other level. It's incredible what you guys do. But regardless, I hope you did enjoy the video. I'm going to try and get some more sleep. And yeah, as always, please make sure you like, subscribe, check out my other videos. And yeah, have a lovely day.